Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Space Between Number One. This is a new book from Boom Studios. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Corinna Bechko, with art by Danny Luckert, letters by Jim Campbell. Um, so I went into this book not really knowing anything. I hadn't read the synopsis. I did hear my buddy Nick from the I Read Comic Books podcast talk about how this was the book he wanted to read this week because of the premise. So I was very excited to check it out. And boy, did I enjoy this issue. Let's take a look at let's read the synopsis here before we get into this book, and then we'll talk more about this issue. Aboard the interstellar ark known as the Dodona, the populations of workers live in strictly separated social castes during the journey that will take multiple generations to complete. But everything changes when a pilot from the upper tier named Revela falls to the lower levels and meets less, and they must risk everything for not just themselves, but all aboard the Dodona. Each issue of this limited series features a new pair of protagonists and a new generation of humanity in a sci fi epic of love, survival, and liberation. All this from Hugo and Eisner Award nominated and New York Times best-selling author Corinna Bechko, and also acclaimed comics artist Danny Luckert. So, Bechko had written the Green Lantern Earth One series the book, which I really enjoyed. So I knew I was in for a treat, at least when it came to the space stuff. But also just the personalities of the characters, the story, the world building is so well done, very efficient. Like there's little bits of world building in all the pieces of dialogue that you you want to pick those up as you're reading, and normally some of that stuff goes over my head, but it was just so well done in this book that I didn't miss a beat. So yeah, I really enjoy this. I really like this premise too, that we'll continue this journey in the ship, but we'll definitely it's almost as if each story will have a generation where something happens, and they something happens with the ship, and they I don't want to go too much into spoilers on this one, but things will change on board, and I think that will affect the next story and then the next one and the next one. So that's really cool, just thematically, and also just for purposes of storytelling and building a mini series. I think that's really really fun. um so let's take a look at the preview art, because there's a lot of good stuff in here. I had not seen Luckert's work before, but boy, did I really enjoy it. I love the character designs. I love the look and the feel of the spaceship. The world feels like very lived in. Really cool designs that feel both familiar with like the Switch and all that, but then we also see the ships, and it's like there's something new here. Everyone has these outfits that kind of lead them around. And yeah, just very cool, very very expressive faces, which I think is always important in a comic book because that conveys a lot to the reader. And then also just as the motion goes here, as we see the character falling in through the cracks into this water. Just of I love this panel here of Revla reaching out as she falls into the water, meaningless, just like very very just really beautiful work. I really enjoyed reading through this issue, and like I said, the story just um, develops very naturally. Like you truly believe it. They do a very good job as a team to bring forth this story to life, to allow for the passage of time, to expand on the little things about this world and the ship. And I hope that some of those nuances kind of come back in future issues, because I think that would be really fun. So, highly, highly recommend this one. Really beautiful stuff. I love this cover too. Like, I can't stop looking at it. Just me looking at the cover of them looking at each other is really really like just beautiful, and encapsulates a lot of what's in this book. There's a lot of heart in the book that I really appreciate, so it's definitely a fun one. And as I mentioned, you're getting kind of a complete story for these two protagonists. So if you wanted to take a break and come back and read. Like this is gonna be, I think, as a monthly series, this will do very well because each story you can probably kind of jump in on its own, but also looks like they're going to be building a larger narrative overall. So really fun stuff. If you have read this issue, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.